As authors, the books that you write can open a lot of doors for you, both professionally and personally. And I am doing an ongoing series on some of the doors that my books have opened for me to allow me to do some really cool things. We recently talked about how my mermaid books opened some really cool doors for me. And today I want to talk about how my steampunk Aladdin retelling has given me some really fun opportunities, leaning especially hard into the steampunk side of things. You know, I love a good retelling and I love steampunk. The outfits, the things that you can do, the culture is elite. I love the steampunk life. And so as someone who has written steampunk novels, I have been able to work with some really cool companies and some really cool people and do some really fun opportunities, including being involved with steampunk events. And so I have been able to sell my book at different steampunk events. I have been able to get to know the community. I'm involved in a lot of the Facebook groups that they have, and I've really gotten to learn a lot. I've gotten to meet some really cool people, and I've got some really cool ideas that I can then write into my steampunk novels because I am immersed in this culture. And I'm a bit more removed from this one than I am the mermaid culture. So the professional mermaid space, I'm heavily involved in. Steampunk, I'm more of an observer. I like to do things when they come up, but I'm not heavily invested in that space just because there's so much of it. And when I first got started, I didn't have time to do all of those things, but I'm really enjoying kind of being a spectator in this space and then being able to be involved as possible. And so I've been able to dress up in steampunk. I've been able to have people dress me in steampunk. I have been able to do really cool events. And again, like I've had the opportunity to do sidewalk sales type things, like a craft fair sidewalk sale type thing to sell my books that were steampunk themed. I've been able to work with steampunk jewelry creators to do some really cool stuff related to my book and related to their audience. I've done some really fun crossovers, and it's all dressed up and it's all pretty and it's all just really fun. It is so fun to be able to dress up in the gadgets and the gear and all the metals and all the brass and all of the really cool jewelry. I can't even tell you, the steampunk attire, the jewelry and the hats are one of my favorite, or some of my favorite things ever. And I own a bunch of them, and I've been able to make a lot of those things, and I've learned how to do a lot of that stuff for myself by being a part of this community. And I've been able to then, through the different events that I've worked with, meet people that were able to open doors in other spaces for me too. So a lot of the events I did were kind of like a local based type thing. I grew up in the town with the first steam locomotive in the US. I have heard another town also claims this. Yeah, I'm not going to argue it here, but it's apparently one of two places. I don't know. But my hometown heavily leans into the fact that it was the first with the steam locomotive in the United States. We had the first train run, all of those things. We've got the replica model in our hometown. And so they started doing a lot of steampunky things back before I moved, and I was involved in some of those. But because it was a local-based thing, I was then able to do other local-based things that were not specific to steampunk, but did bring me in as an author and as an educator and as a photographer and the other things that I do. So it opened up a ton of doors professionally to me before I moved away that were just so valuable to what I was doing and to giving me experience and to giving me very easy ways of marketing myself, because I could then document the things that I was doing and use them on social media. So steampunk has been really good to me. This space has been very, very fun to be in. And I will say, because I am slightly more removed, I don't have to deal with much of the drama. I don't get involved in drama in the different worlds that I am in, the mermaid world and all those things, but I do watch a lot of it because all of my people are connected to it. In this space, it's just happy all the time because I'm not as connected to it. So I'm not getting all of the drama going on my Facebook feed and things like that. So there is benefit to being highly involved. There is benefit to being somewhat involved in these different worlds, in these different cultures. And if you are doing something that has a steampunk group or a mermaid group or something you can get into, by all means do. Because you have so many more doors open to you, so many cool people that you get to interact with, people that you get to interview and people that you get to do fun projects with, and just be able to help build up that culture and cultivate that inside of you, which can then implement into your writing and do extra special things. I've got special things that I put inside of my stories because of my involvement with this. So books will open doors for you as an author, especially if you make it known that you are writing about these things, and extra especially if you knock on those doors and say, hey, I'm here, I do this thing, I'd like to be involved. They will bring you right on in and do some really awesome things with you, and many of them will partner with you to help then promote your book because you're promoting them and they're promoting you, and it's just a whole great big love of all of the things inside of this culture that everybody's working together on. Drop your questions on the steampunk space down below, or how I am using my books to then allow me access to do really cool things, to knock on those doors and have them open to me in really fabulous ways, and how you can be doing this as well. And if you're enjoying this series, let me know. Let me know which books you want me to talk about and how those books have opened different doors to me to allow me to do some really cool things in my author life that you can also be leveraging inside of your author or your reader life. We'll see you in those upcoming episodes as we continue to help you navigate the world of publishing, from your writing to your publishing to your marketing, to make this your most profitable and most fun year ever. We'll see you then.